I'm Thuli Magubane, and welcome to the Success Rate, where we get to know an individual, find out about their journey to success. And as our byline says, there's no such thing as an overnight success. And I know some people seem to have made it, and it seems like it was easy. But believe me, there are a lot of sacrifices along the way, some challenges. And today's guest, Emmanuel Bonoko. Emmanuel is a high achiever. At a tender young age, he's made it onto Forbes 30 under 30. He started the EBonoko Foundation at a tender age of 19. He was still a teen. So we're going to find out from him what actually inspired him to actually do what he's done and actually work with young people. Emmanuel, welcome.
What a great honor to be here.
I'm glad. I think we had a conversation a couple of years ago.
Yes.
If memory serves me correctly, while I was still at KFM.
Yes. Yeah.
And that time we're actually talking about money.
Absolutely. I remember.
Which is a key element in everybody's life. So today we're talking about you, getting to know who Emmanuel is and what actually drives you. And everyone's journey to success is obviously unique.
Absolutely.
So, you started off as a young person. I know that you are raised by a single parent.
Yes.
And it's always a challenge being raised by a single parent, especially when you finish matric and you want to study further.
Absolutely.
There's always that question, where is the money going to come from? But you were lucky enough to get a scholarship.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for the invite. Such a great honor. And also just to have this opportunity and interviewed by a legend like yourself.
Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity. So for me, my mom, sure, may her soul rest in peace. She has done so much for me.
Yes.
I think for me, from a tender age, she taught me, the power of accountability. She taught me the power of, be a responsible young person. So, when I was still studying, eventually when I was doing grade 12, matric that time, I did well. I had a couple of distinctions.
Yes.
And I think that, that's where I was able to access opportunities or people to come and endorse my studies. I mean, I had people like Mami Voni Chaka Chaka. She was able to contribute towards my studies, but also I had a number of, corporates that were able to support me on my journey. And as you said, definitely there was that pressure that you need to actually go and find a job and come and, support us at home. But I had to be resilient and, continue with my studies.
All right.
Yeah.
So you were one of the, I suppose, few in the township who's able to access the scholarships. And it almost seems like it's ironic. In January, we had a lot of young people receiving their matric results.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there was a lot of pressure for young people to have distinctions.
Absolutely.
And for parents, it was almost an honor to post their daughter or son on social media,
sure.
3 distinctions, 5 distinctions, or whatever it might be.
Sure.
For you, was there pressure on you as a young person to get those distinctions, or was it something that you were self-motivated and you wanted to do it for yourself?
What I can say is that I'm just a hard worker, generally. So for me also, I had to be honest. I had to be honest with myself that, post-matric, you won't have the means and the support to further your studies. So the best that you can do for yourself is that work hard, make sure that you obtain good grades, and also start to build networks. And eventually it worked for me. I had to work hard and I did well, but also I had good networks. When I was still studying, I was already attending a lot of business events just to learn, and also seek mentors. Because I knew that for me to grow, excel on my journey, I need people that also can sort of groom me and people that also can endorse my journey. So yeah.
You mentioned networks. And I think it's something that for a young person, it's not that obvious. We always talk about networking and networks once you get into your professional life.
Sure.
So who sowed that seed in your young mind and said, networks are important?
Yeah.
And then you listened and you went out there and you built those networks.
Sure. I think there was a time they had a career expo in our school, and they had a number of business people just to come and motivate young people that for you to grow and do well in life, seek mentors, be teachable and open to learn. And I think they were able to just to ignite spirit in me, and also just for me to push myself, that for me to go to the next level, looking at my background, my mom being a domestic worker, I need to learn from other people.
True,
And,
yeah.
lucky enough, I was blessed, to have such great mentors. I mean, I was blessed to meet people like Thuli Magubane. She's the Group CEO of Nespas at the
Yes.
moment. That the Bona Mohale as well. He was at Shell, South Africa.
At the time, yeah.
And eventually they really opened doors for me. They endorsed me. They taught me so much about life, about business, and just
So maybe while you're still on that, what did you learn from each of those mentors you mentioned?
Sure. With Thuli Magubane, a lot. Sure, a lot. I mean, number one, I love her humility.
Yes.
I look at what she has built over the years. I mean, she was the Group CEO of Shanduga at that time, company.
And from a young age
From
as
a
well.
young age, founded by Ntate Ramaphosa. I look at what she has achieved, but her level of humility. I mean, I was just a young man. I'll walk in her office, but she never looked down on me. She just saw a passion in me, and she endorsed my work. And from me, from her, I've learned humility. I've learned the importance of spirituality as well. That despite your success, you need to be well aligned with your spirituality.
True, yeah.
That in that the Bonang also is more about the human touch. How do you empower the people that you work with? Especially as business owners, sometimes just about the bottom line, which is money, but we neglect the well-being of the people that we work with. And I think those are some of the components that I've learned from both.
That's awesome. So the show is about success.
Yeah.
So one question we always ask all the guests is for them to give us their definition of success.
Yeah.
So posing the question to you, what's your definition of success?
Sure. Success for me, I'll say, just to be in a space where I'm able to wake up every day and pursue my dreams. Despite the odds, despite the challenges, despite being overlooked, but just to be in a space where I'm able to dream, I'm able to go and chase those dreams, I'm able to empower others along the journey. That's how I can define success for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're still pretty young.
Not
so
exactly.
I guess the journey is still a long way off. So do you feel that you've achieved a certain level of success that you're comfortable with?
What I can say, God has been great on my journey. Looking at where I come from, it was not an easy journey. And also I come from a background where I had no role models within the business landscape. So for me just to go to varsity, and from varsity go straight in business, it was not an easy path, for one to consider. So for me, I can say I'm blessed. God has been great on my journey. And every year I keep on evolving and also, learning from others. So I'm grateful in terms of, what I've accomplished over the years.
No, that's awesome. So you started the EBonoko Foundation as a teen.
Yes.
What inspired you to do that? Because as a young person, I think young people are always looking at other people to assist them and be their savior.
Yeah.
So what made you be other young people's savior?
Sure. In all honesty, our journey get more redefined along the journey, along the path. For me, I think what really inspired me is the people that also helped me on my journey, that were able to help me towards my studies, the people that were able to mentor me. And I thought, what can I do as well, to share light, to mentor, to groom other young people, and with my own experiences, and also capitalize on some of the mentors that I have, that, let's go back and, empower community. And I never saw that the foundation will grow and it will have such a big impact. I mean, the likes of, Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, they know about my foundation.
Yes, yeah.
So I never really thought that one day I'm just going to grow involved, and also just to tap into other business opportunities. So for me, it was just a matter of how do I use my networks, my own experiences to go and inspire other
And
young
then-
people.
So one of the initiatives that the foundation has embarked on
Yeah.
is collecting books and distributing them to libraries and
Yes,
schools
yeah.
in disadvantaged areas. And I think last time, is it almost 20,000 now?
Yeah, over 25,000. Yeah.
25,000 now. So clearly reading is important to you.
Yeah.
Hence, you feel the need that other young people should have access to books. So maybe tell us about one or two books
Yeah.
that have impacted you
Yeah.
and, and has had a profound impact in terms of your journey to success.
Sure. Number one, I'll say the Word of God, the Bible,
Yes.
as a believer, because I think that's where I get my identity in God.
Yes.
That's where I get clarity. That's where my purpose is defined. So the Word of God, even when I face obstacles, rejection along the way,
Yes, yeah.
just a confirmation that when you believe in God and you work hard, all things are possible. Then also a book by Ndate Bona Mohale, Lift as You Rise. Also, they had
Yes.
such a big impact on my journey. Then the more as I grow, how I must create a conducive spaces to pull other young people along. So far, I'll say those books.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lift as you
You
rise.
rise.
I actually haven't read it, so I must add it to my list
Yes,
of
great, absolutely.
of books
Yeah.
this year. So you had the honor of being listed under the Forbes 30 under
Yes.
30, which is a huge improvement. I mean, it's not improvement, but a huge honor.
Yeah.
And a huge achievement.
Absolutely.
And so, do you feel pressure now that you've achieved this honor at such a young age, that as you continue your journey, there's a lot of pressure to go to higher heights
Yeah.
and achieve more?
Sure.
Because for some people, that type of achievement or recognition, for them, it's almost like the ultimate,
Yeah.
to be listed in such a global stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think for me, Forbes, it was just to really cement my name and then also expose me to other opportunities.
Yes.
Especially us as Black people, we are forever fighting hard to get into spaces. Our credibility is always, being questioned. So for me, listed on Forbes really did open so many doors, and I used the platform to unlock more opportunities across Africa, to build a lot of networks, but same time just to continue to be in my own lane.
True, yeah.
Because there's so much that is happening, and also the pressure from social media as well. So if you don't tap into your inner self, you end up losing yourself in the midst of everything. So such platform, obviously, they sort of help one to grow, evolve, build networks. But for me, there's no pressure. I'm in a good space. Mentally, spiritually as well. So, but I can test that, such platform, they edify your body of work and also
Yes,
for
yeah.
you to be seen and heard.
And what about challenges? Because no journey is without challenges.
Absolutely.
So what has been the biggest obstacle in your journey?
Sure.
And how did you manage to overcome that?
There's a lot.
So let's talk about what. There's always
Yeah,
plenty.
there's a lot. Sure. It's not easy. A journey of entrepreneurship is not easy at all. You face a lot of rejection at times in corporates.
Yes.
As much as you're competent, you're well equipped with experience, you face a lot of rejection. And also, as you grow, people, they take advantage of you as well. Along the journey. And also as you grow now, you're employing people. It's not easy to manage people as well. And it's just a lot. Sometimes also personal issues in terms of if you are good enough. Sometimes you can question yourself that, are you good enough?
True.
And I think such platforms, we need to be honest, So for me also, at home, they could not see the bigger picture of what I was doing. I mean, my mom being a domestic worker, she's not that well educated. So they expect you to go to varsity and find a job, and so you can help them at home. And there you are, you want to
Must
start
go
a
and
foundation.
work for the white men.
Exactly.
Yes.
You want to start a foundation, and remember, a foundation, you don't even make money.
Yeah, it's
You know,
philanthropy.
it's giving back, and it only later on, when it's more sustainable, you are endorsed by a number of brands and corporate. That's where you can see return of investment. So
Yes.
at home, they could not see the bigger picture. They thought mentally I've lost it. I remember my grand, she called me saying, "Wanaka Ushapuna, mentally, are you okay?"
Yes, yeah.
Because I was not keen to find a job, Then later on, when, you have built, and you're sustainable, you're creating jobs for so many young people, that's where they start to believe in you. So for me, it was at home. Along the journey, I lost friends as well, because most of my friends from back school, they went corporate. And I had to build this foundation, and as much as I've evolved over the years to other business interests. So there were a number of challenges along the way. And till today, we still face challenges. But as they say, we soldier on.
True. So you mentioned rejection. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, I can very much relate to that. We
Absolutely.
spend a great part of our lives pitching, writing proposals, trying to get the next contract or the next deal.
Yeah.
How do you deal with rejection?
Sure. I think, I've learned to make peace with that what is meant for you, it'll always find you. And over the years, I'm blessed that, some of the brands and corporates that we work with from Brandscapers, which is our marketing agency, they knock on our door now. And because I think they've seen consistency, they've seen a body of work.
Yes.
They've seen the investment that you have made on your journey. They've seen your resilience. So rejection is part of the journey. Just have to make peace with it, and don't even take it personal. I think it needs to be a motivation that how do you edify your work more? How do you add value to your clients? And just continue to do the work. Eventually, they'll come back to you. And over the years, we are so blessed that most brands and corporates now, they knock on our door, and we are able to have solid conversations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that straight after university, you didn't want to follow the normal path of going to work for someone and be employed. And I think from my experience working with entrepreneurs and training entrepreneurs, I've noticed that especially young people who've not had that work experience have a bit of a challenge kind of understanding certain business concepts.
Yes.
Because you've never been in a business setting.
Absolutely.
You've come from school.
Yes.
Now you're starting a business. So it's almost like you've skipped a stage. So how did you adjust, and where did you find the knowledge and the support to be able to navigate yourself on the journey?
That's a good question. I think for me, what really helped me, I'll say mentorship.
Yes.
I'm blessed that I have such great mentors within my space that were able to guide, teach me, practically open doors for me, and also based on merit, right?
Yes.
And also the ecosystem. I was able to have friends that I still have that were in business.
Yes.
I mean, I look at the likes of Theo Baloyi, a good friend of mine, and we come a long way together.
Yes.
And I look at what he has built, through Batu. So you learn, from other people. So I'm a very teachable person,
Yes.
But also my foundation has really played quite a significant role to my growth today. My foundation,
In what way? Yeah.
it was self-taught. I mean, I had to learn to put proposal when I was still studying. I had to learn to sell myself on media and market the foundation to
Yes.
access donors. I had to learn to, position myself in the public, and also build team, mobilize young people to come and support me through my foundation. So already my foundation, I've built good networks. I had credible brands and corporates were endorsing the work. So when I went to venture into the marketing space, already I had good networks.
Okay.
And some of the corporate that I had under my foundation were able to convert
To clients.
to clients,
Yeah.
So it was not an easy challenge at all. The foundation really helped me a lot. And for me, even how I define myself, so at heart, I'm a social entrepreneur. So by profession, I would regard myself as a marketer.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I love young people. I'm for young people. And I'm blessed that even through the work that we do in the marketing space, I still have the opportunity to still edify people's lives, to still make an impact. And for me, that's a blessing.
You've been watching The Success Rate with myself, Thuli Magubane. Help us to grow this channel. We want to hit 1,000 subscribers, and only you can help us to get there. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, share with your friends and family. We want to hear a lot of good news, and this channel is all about good news and people's journeys to success. And marketing is an interesting space. What attracted you to that space, especially as a young person? Because there's a lot of agencies out there,
Yes.
well-established agencies. You know, and they work with big brands, and you go in that space and you're competing head to head for some of their clients.
Yeah.
So for you, what pushed you to that space and be ballsy enough to do that?
For me, I mean, I did my BCom degree in marketing. And funny story. So I look at how I had to brand myself through my foundation.
Yes.
Because, you know, you might be good enough, but if people, they don't know much about you, at times it's not worth it. So I look at how I had to brand myself, you know, through my foundation, expose myself to great platforms, you know, do my media relations and so forth.
Yes.
And which was a skill that got better and got refined, but also backed by my formal training. So then I was like, okay, now how do I take this to the next level? And I think, you know, my own experiences, the kind of corporates that I had within my foundation, I had to analyze that where do I come in their portfolio to edify their offering, brand exposure, brand activations, media buying. And because of the track record that I've built through my foundation, I think they gave me the opportunity that, you know, let's work together. And but your journey gets more defined and evolve, you know, as you continue building a body of excellency with consistency. And also what worked for me, a lot of collaborations. I think for us that has really helped us to grow over the years, because I'm for collaborations. I learned from other agencies. I mean, the likes of Sylvester Chauke from DNA Brands. Those are kind of networks that I had to build for me to really be the best in what we do.
Okay. So I won't let you go without talking about money. We'll have a bit of a conversation around money. What are some of the conversations that you wish young Black people were having around money?
Sure. I mean, from my own experience, we're not taught about money. You know, it's a topic that we don't touch at home. And you learn as you grow. And it's not an easy thing to navigate around, you know. And for me, I think we need to go back to the drawing board where, you know, in our household, you know, we speak about money. We teach young people about saving. We teach young people about investments. So for me also, it was self-taught. You know, I don't want to lie that at home, we had a proper support structure. And also in the Black communities as well, you know. So as you grow, God open doors, you get good investment or opportunities. You sort of start to have honest conversation with yourself that how do I create a safe space for myself, but also how do I also empower also other young people from your own experiences. So it's something that you learn as you go, and but I believe that we can do better. A lot of campaigns can be done, especially in our communities, to bring such awareness forth.
And in terms of your own personal journey, how has your relationship with money changed over the years?
It was, I mean, you know, go in business, you work extremely hard to get some of these opportunities. And obviously, if you're not well mentored, you make not well-informed decisions. But over the years, I think I've been learning. And I'm blessed that, you know, I look at the kind of mentors that I have. I look at the kind of leadership they have, their lifestyles, I had to always learn from them. That these are very well accomplished business leaders. They're not even on Instagram. They keep low profile. You just see the impact they are making in their respective industries. So for me, as a young person, also I had to learn from them that, okay, how do you do better, Emmanuel? How do you invest towards your growth? How do you invest towards your people? Which for me is key, that as we grow as a business, how do you invest back to your people? So over the years, I've been getting better. It's not an easy decision, especially when you have worked so hard, where there were rejection, people never believed in you, and eventually you get these good deals on the table. And you end up making...
And people have this notion that money changes people. So let's talk about you. So tell us, how did you feel? I mean, you've been in business for over a decade.
Now, yes.
So how did you feel when you made your first million?
Sure. God has been great. And I think as much as we are vocal about our struggles.
Yes.
And now I'm one person on my social media. I'm vocal about my struggle, my failures. But also I think we need to ignite hope to other Black young people that it's possible.
True.
And it's doable, especially if you're open to learning, being teachable. So for me, I think there was no much change at all, because, the kind of circle that I have young people that are more way successful than me.
True,
I look at their lifestyle. They are always at gym, which also it shape all aspects of your lives. I had to also integrate that in my lifestyle. I look at the kind of friend that I have. So the places that you go to, do they edify you? So for me, there was no any change at all. But obviously, it was a matter of say, how do I also look after myself, my health, and just keep on investing on myself, and also travel there and there. Yeah, but
and what has been your favorite destination, traveling here and there?
I mean, I love Africa. I've been to Nigeria, but also I was doing a bit of work.
So did you fit in? Did they think you're a local? I mean, being so tall.
Yeah, they call me Oga.
Okay, Oga. Yes, Oga.
They call me Oga, Ogonos,
Yeah.
I love Nigeria. It was just beautiful being there. And also I've met incredible Africans who are doing amazing work within the marketing space. New York also, it was amazing as well, but also I was working that side as well. Then recently also I went to Thailand just to rest. So I try, but also traveling, also you meet other people, you learn, because I'm for learning as well. I think it's quite critical, as business owners. So those some of the few trips that,
So how do you feel when the plane touches down and they say, welcome to our Tambo International, and you're home? What goes through your mind?
Sure. South Africa, such a beautiful continent. I've met so many amazing, beautiful people. And for me, that's my belief. So here I have so many people that really have helped me to grow. So I feel safe. I feel empowered. And also I believe that also we can compete on global stages as well. That also it excites me. So it's always good to be at home, and the culture, the diversity, and there's still so much that we can still do to really grow our country.
True. So as we wrap up our conversation, maybe give us some tips for other young people that are watching and listening to you and your journey, in terms of what can they do to make sure that they're walking in their purpose and they achieve a certain level of success that they're happy with?
I think for me, for me, from my own personal experience, you find yourself in God. That's where I think your purpose gets defined, who you are, your character, your purpose. There's a scripture in the Bible say, in him we move, in him we find our being, and we exist.
Yes.
And for me, I'm for that. I had to go back to God, that God lead me, guide me, and also define my purpose, that I'm in business to create jobs. I'm in business to empower other young people. I'm just a vessel. And also that when you succeed and when you grow, God will always ground you. I mean, last year when I met with Bill Gates and Melinda Gates,
Yeah.
it was quite a big achievement for me, as a young South African, business leader. But I still remain grounded, as much as I had so many endorsement. I'm blessed that I work with amazing corporates like your Anglo-American, through our marketing, but God still ground me. So I think it's very much important that you find yourself in God. And secondly, I'll say be teachable. I think sometimes as young people, when we attain a certain level of success, we gain a bit of arrogancy. We sit on social media and we think that we can be taught.
True, yeah.
You can listen and learn from other people. So for me, teachability is very key. And above all, collaborations. So I look at our journey, some of the biggest project that we have done is through a lot of collaborations, and they brought good return of investment towards our growth. So I collaborate a lot,
yeah.
And because of you are able to leverage on each other's expertise, skills. I got friends that also endorse me in big corporates. So young people, if you want to start a marketing agency, collaborate with me. If you want to start a podcast, you can collaborate.
Yes.
You don't have to always start.
There's an open invite.
So I believe we can collaborate.
Yeah.
We can work together, and by doing so, that's the only way we can grow as Africans.
So what's next for Emmanuel? As we said, you've done quite a lot. You're not even 35 yet. So what's next for you?
Sure. What's next for me? I don't have such timeline on my journey. I trust God enough. I'm very I have a spirit of discernment. I listen to God, and He aligned me. He aligned my path. But for me, I'll say my heart desires to continue to create safe spaces for so many young people. I want to work with so many young people, and just continue to be a voice and a light to young people like myself that come from disadvantaged backgrounds, that it's possible, you can do it. And above all, define your own success. I'm looking at what's happening on social media. There's so much pressure for young people. So define your own success. If your own success is to build mama a house at home, that's a great success for you.
Yeah.
If success for you is changing how you eat, your diet, that's a big success. So for me also, I've learned that define your own success and you'll have so much peace in your heart.
I like that. You'll have so much peace in your heart.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think we'll end it on that shalom note. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming through and having this conversation with us and dropping some gems along the way.
Sure.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you. If you've enjoyed the conversation with Emmanuel, make sure that you like and comment what you've learned from him. And also, if you want to collaborate with him, maybe you can put it in the comments there. And also, don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend that they should be listening to us. Get them to subscribe as well.